What's up, people? Welcome back to Chris Chats Comics. My name is Chris Gonzalez, and I'm back again on another Sunday for another episode of Single Issue Sundays. And yeah, I got 4 titles this week, and I can't wait to get into them. So, let's go. So, Single Issue Sundays is the series where I recap and discuss the latest issues that I've either picked up physically on the previous New Comic Book Day on Wednesday. You can check those haul videos out, or I also go over some of the digital issues that I read this week as well. And so yeah, and before I get into it, I will be going over some light spoilers. So if you haven't read any of these issues, definitely pause the video, read them, come back, and enjoy my recap of them. And yeah, so got one from Marvel this week, one from Image, and a couple from DC. So let's start with the Marvel title for the week. And again, this is Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue number 23, Legacy issue number 987, and it's part 2 of 9 of the Death Spiral crossover events with the Venom series. So it's written by Joe Kelly. We got some pencils by Ed McGuinness, and some of the inkings done by Mark Farmer and Cliff Rathburn. The colors are by Marcio Menez, and the letters are done by Joe Caramagna. And again, I'm sounding like a broken record now. My thoughts on Joe Kelly's Amazing Spider-Man run has just been it started off pretty great, and then it's kind of been middling. I think it's my least favorite series that is on my pull list right now, and it's kind of a bummer because Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters, but there's some good moments, definitely. I think Joe Kelly, he does an excellent job with Peter and Aunt May's relationship. When the art is hitting, it's really good, especially Pepe Larraz, but he's not on too often. And the John Romita Jr. artwork is, it is what it is at this point. But, and just the story, again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Norman Osborn as Spider-Man on Earth while Peter's stuck in space. I did not enjoy those two storylines. Thought it dragged on for way too long. But now, since that arc is over, now we're jumping into this crossover event. So, and to be honest, I thought this was, a pretty okay issue. I thought the mystery is pretty intriguing. The artwork by Ed McGuinness, I did really like that. And yeah, and I feel like Joe Kelly, again, like I mentioned, he's good with the Peter and Aunt May relationship. And I also think he writes Peter's quips pretty well, but some of the humor just doesn't land for me. And I just think the plot, like the overall story, it's like, where are we going with this? We're now 23 issues in. I don't know. But the artwork, again, is pretty cool. Peter's just still dealing with the aftermath of him being away from Earth, and Aunt May is just telling him that it hurt her, that she was shut out, and Peter wants to tell her that he's Spider-Man, but again, he doesn't do it. And there's this one part where I guess Aunt May's dating this new guy. She had moved into his place. His name is Ricardo, and Peter's just going, asking them about moving in together, and she's just, says Whoopi that she's looking youthful because of all of the Whoopi. And when I read that, I was like, wow, sex joke from Aunt May. Did I really need that? Not really, but it was whatever. But yeah, so again, cool artwork, really dig it. Definitely prefer this over John Romita Jr. So, but yeah, Peter finally finds out that Mary Jane is Venom in this issue, and I thought action sequences. They run into Shocker. I thought they were drawn pretty well, but again, it's just the story. It's just like, it's some parts are interesting and some parts I really don't care for. Like, again, I'm not a fan of Mary Jane being Venom, not at all. So it's part of my least favorite aspect of this crossover, and I just think Venom's just become just goofy. And I like, my favorite version of Venom is when, you know, he's first introduced, when the symbiote first bonds with Eddie Brock, and he's a menacing, scary villain. That's how I like Venom to be portrayed. But, you know, it's whatever. But then I do like Eddie Brock's dynamic with Carnage. I think that's pretty interesting. So Carnage needs to constantly be killing in order to survive, and Eddie's just trying to control him. So in Carnage, there's something going on with Carnage and the main villain Torment, so I'm curious to see how that plays out, and I'm intrigued about Torment's motivations. Like, there's this kind of mystery going on with Torment going after family members associated with Mary Jane, so I want to know what that's all about. And spoilers, Torment kills this version of the Shocker because, again, he has ties with Mary Jane. So, and then again, Peter catches Mary Jane up to speed, and that was pretty much it. So, and Peter's kind of worried because Eddie has left him a message and told Peter that Carnage knows that Peter is Spider-Man. So we'll see how it plays out, and how Carnage ties in with Torment. So again, just thought this was an okay issue. I'm still intrigued by some aspects, other aspects and certain subplots I don't really care for, but we'll see. We're on our way to issue of 1000 of ASM, so I'm still on the ride for now. And let's go over now to Image, the lone Image title that I picked up, and this is Lost Fantasy. This is issue number 8, and this is co-written by Kurt Pierce and Franklin Jonas, and the art's by Luca Casalanguida. Colors are done by Mark Dale, and the letters are done by Micah Myers. And I've been loving this series. It's just a fun fantasy adventure mixed with some police procedural aspects, and so I'm really digging this. So our main character, Henry Blackheart, he's trying to avenge his father, or find his father, who was kidnapped by this assassin. And last issue, Henry finally met up with the assassin, and now this issue pretty much deals with some stuff that gets revealed. We don't know if it's 100% true, but the art by Casalanguida is really great. I enjoyed his action sequences, and Henry fights this guy. You find out his name is Edge, and spoilers, Edge is potentially Henry's brother. So in the beginning, they go through the fight, and then Edge tells Henry, hey, let me tell you the truth about how you really were raised and your real family. So Edge tells Henry this story in the Magic Civil War that Henry's real parents were, a warlock and a witch, and Cyrus Blackheart, Henry's supposed father, and the rest of the great hunters, they fought alongside these warlocks and these witches in the Magic Civil War. And then there was definite, I got the Red Wedding vibes from Game of Thrones in this issue, because the great hunters, including Cyrus, they approached the witches and the warlock as friends, because this is supposedly Henry's real dad, and they double cross the witches and the warlocks, and all the hunters end up killing Henry's parents. And these are Henry's real parents. And apparently Henry's name is, what's his name? His real name is Alistair Alabaster is apparently Henry's real name. And again, his brother's name is Edge. So the story is their nanny, when the great hunters were attacking their parents, the nanny, her name is, what's her name? Magda. She went to the crib of the two brothers and she couldn't carry both of them at the same time. So she picked up Edge, left Henry in the crib, and she was going to go back for Henry, but she went through this secret passageway in the baby's room, and there was this explosion and it closed in on her and she got blinded. But apparently due to this explosion, she's able to see the multiverse, and I don't know how I feel about that. So just came out of nowhere. So we'll see if that comes back into play in future issues. But yeah, so pretty much Edge tells Henry all of this, and Henry doesn't believe him. And so they fight. And they're fighting to the death, essentially. So Henry, and this is a Star Wars moment, a lot of Star Wars influences I can tell in this book. But they continue to fight, which again, love the way the action sequences are drawn. And just like in the Star Wars movie, everybody has to get their hand cut off.
There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you.
Henry gets one of his hands cut off, and Edge essentially kicks him off a cliff, and then Henry passes out. He's in the middle of the I think it's the drifts, is this snowy area? So he's beaten down. Can really, like, you could feel how cold it is by the illustrations. But Henry passes out, and then this bird, Cyrus's, this is called a firebird, essentially seeks out an injured Henry and assists. Cool image right here. So then Henry, he wakes up and he's in Tokyo. So the Firebird had helped Henry, and they put him in this like back to tank to heal. Again, more Star Wars vibes. And then these magicians are using their magic to heal him, and then he gets essentially not a robot arm, but it's like a robot arm. So he gets this new arm, and then one of the great hunters wakes him up, and his name is Takahashi. So they're in Japan, and then Takahashi just tells him how he was the one who had the Firebird, and he gifted the Firebird to Cyrus when the great hunters, they all teamed up. And then Nihilus arrives, and yeah, Henry asked if Nihilus was able to capture Edge, but Nihilus tells Henry that they were gone when Nihilus and the rest of Castle Blackheart arrived, and they found there's this village in this cavern, and this giant crystal that were assumed helped Edge with his magic abilities. And then all of a sudden, where they're staying at, something happens, the alarm goes off, and then this figure, he infiltrates the facility and starts killing all of Takahashi's men. And so Nihilus, Takahashi, and Henry, they suit up and they're about to confront this guy. So what's this guy's deal? What's he want? We don't know. And this is where the issue ends. So they're about to fight this mysterious cyborg looking robot. We're not sure if he's human, but that was the end of Lost Fantasy issue 8. Another fun and action-packed issue. We get a little potentially more backstory into Henry's true origin. And again, we're not sure if Edge was just lying to Henry or if Cyrus really did kill Henry's parents. So I'm definitely intrigued to keep for the next issue. And yeah, I've been loving this series, Lost Fantasy. Again, if you like fantasy adventure, fantasy action adventure mixed with a little, police procedural, definitely has Star Wars influences, I highly recommend Lost Fantasy issue number 8 and the series in general. And let's go ahead and now go into the lone digital issue that I read, and it's from DC, and it's Batgirl, and this is issue number 17. And Batgirl is written by Tate Bromble. The art is by Takashi Miyazawa, and Juan Castro does some of the inking. Mike Spicer is the colorist, and the letters are done by Tom Napolitano. And yeah, it's the start of a new arc. Cassandra, she's back in Gotham after dealing with the whole ordeal with Nissa Al Ghul and the Unburied back in Samosera. So she's traveled back to Gotham, and she's on her way to this dinner that's at Pennyworth Manor with all the rest of the Bat family, including Stephanie Brown. She's on the phone with Stephanie Brown, and Stephanie's just, giving her, the rundown of what's going on, and she's looking forward to seeing Cass. But while they're on the phone with one another, Cass, starts developing this weird sensation, and her blood starts spewing out everywhere, and her blood is like sentient tendrils just going crazy, similar to like the Venom symbiote. And we don't really know why. We just know that from her mother's side, she has connections with the Wu clan, the Blood Wu clan. So essentially the issue is her trying to figure out where her powers came from and why she developing these powers, and she wants to learn how to control them because they're hurting her. She doesn't know how to control it. So she seeks out the Blood Clan and their headmaster, and so she has to delay with meeting up with the Bat family. And I just thought the way her blood powers were drawn really well by Takashi Miyazawa. Again, he's been a master at illustrating all the action sequences in this series, and whenever he's on art, it's a real treat. So there was a lot of action in this issue as well. And Cass, so her brother Jade Tiger, Tenji, and Jaya, they go to the headquarters of the Blood that's in Gotham, and it's kind of got some raid vibes where they have to go up the building and fight their way through the building to get to the top. But what was surprising is the headmaster that they're looking for the Blood, he gets shot from the back of the head, and I was really surprised about that. And his name was Wu Lin, and he got shot in the back of the head. You assumed he got murdered. But yeah, so the series also noticed that a lot of anime influences in this issue in particular, and again, reminded me of the Raid. And my main critique is I'm not really feeling the Tenji character and how he's written. I just think he's kind of annoying. And there's this one part where they're fighting up it's Cassandra, Jade Tiger, Tenji, and Jaya. They're fighting up a staircase, and meanwhile Tenji's just going like asking Cass, like, hey, when am I gonna meet your family in Gotham? And I was just like, it's like kind of an inappropriate timing to be asking that, and they even call it out in the issue. So it was intentional, but it's just, I don't like Tenji's characteristics. I kind of find him annoying, but you know, we'll see. And it's been some issues since he was introduced, and I'm still not really feeling him. But yeah, so they get to the top and they meet with the person who shot Wu Lin, and it's this other woman, I forgot her name, but she's part of the clan as well. And apparently shooting Wu Lin in the back of the head causes this magical portal to open. So that's where the issue ends. So it's a pretty intriguing cliffhanger, and I guess they have to go to this different realm, or Cass has to go into this different realm to, you know, figure out how to control her powers, because I think this is part 1 of a 3-issue arc. So it's a pretty short arc, but I was intrigued by the end of it. So it was really fun. If you like, you know, action, ninja action, and, you know, anime influence in your Western superhero comics, then I definitely recommend Batgirl, and that was issue number 17. And then let's get to the last DC issue, and the last issue I'm going to be going over today, and that's Batman. This is issue number 7, and this is written by Matt Fraction. The art is done by Jorge Jimenez. Tamu Mori is the colorist, and Clayton Cowles is does the letters, and he also has some help from Jorge Jimenez. I'm not sure exactly what Jorge did for the letters, but he did assist. So I'm just going to say this is my favorite issue of the week. So definitely Matt Fraction's run to me has been really great. The artwork by Jorge has just been really solid. This issue is pretty much Batman just talking to Joker. Like, that's most of the issue. And I can understand how some people might be sick of the Joker, but the way Matt Fraction wrote their conversation was just really intriguing. So Batman, Joker has asked this one, I guess he's a patient, or he's working at Arkham Tower. So Joker has relayed a message to this guy to tell essentially Batman that, hey, Joker wants to meet up and have a conversation. So I like the humor, because back in the previous issues, this is essentially the new bat signal. So Batman meets up with Gordon and Harvey Bullock, and they tell him, like, hey, Joker wants to meet. So Batman races to Arkham Tower. So and then again, just great coloring by Tamu Mori. I like the juxtaposition between, you know, the white rooms and Batman's bright blue costume. So I really dug that. So, and I'm curious to see how Dr. Zeller, how her and Joker's relationship further develops, if they even, you know, tackle that. But Dr. Zeller, she just gives Batman all these rules, like, if you break any of these rules, you'll get shocked essentially in this room, so don't try to aggravate her patient. But again, really enjoying the artwork by Jorge Jimenez. So Joker's hooked up to, he's in this tank. Dr. Zeller has the Crown of Storms, that device that she had developed, and it was highlighted in the very first issue, I think, and some of the earlier issues. So she developed this machine that essentially clears the minds of all the criminals, and it makes them think more logically and with clarity. So this is supposed to be a toned down, non-chaotic Joker, but we all know the Joker can't be trusted, and Batman doesn't think so either. So, but I just thought their conversation was really fascinating, and I liked how, like, Joker, he's speaking through this machine, and it's laying out, I like the way it lays out the text. And so yeah, just again, really fun. And it reminded me of a mixture between Silence of the Lambs.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
And then interrogation scene in The Dark Knight.
Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Then why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. No, you complete me.
So it gave me those vibes, and we got I thought this was pretty cool. There's a fold out page that shows, I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to ruin this, okay. But it shows what's in the Joker's mind, so I thought that was a really cool effect, and it just gives, highlights of all the Joker's history, so I thought that was really creative. And Joker, he's propping up Dr. Zeller. He's complimenting her, and she's blushing right there. So why is she blushing? Is she into it? That's what I don't want the story to be. I don't want Dr. Zeller to be like another Harley Quinn or Punchline. So we'll see, because she's definitely getting manipulated by the Joker. Like the Joker's planning something. He always is. So yeah, but again, Batman, he's not having it. He thinks the Joker's full of shit, essentially. So he's like, okay, I'm done with you. But I thought this was pretty cool. Again, Jorge Jimenez, MVP, really dope artwork. But Joker finally reveals to Batman, like, hey, I wanted to talk to you because I know someone's trying to kill you. And Batman tells him, like, I'm Batman, this is Gotham. Everybody's trying to kill me. So what? I'm leaving. But spoilers at the end, Joker's like, no, really. Someone's coming to kill you, Bruce. So Joker knows Batman is Bruce Wayne. So how did he come across that info? And I know this is not new. I think the Joker knew his identity like in a previous run. I'm just forgetting which run. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is where the issue ends. So again, another solid, fun issue of Batman, and just Matt Fraction. He's been killing it. His script's just been killing it, and the artwork by Jorge Jimenez it's just been, I think this is some of Jorge Jimenez's best work. So definitely recommends Batman by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. And yeah, I definitely can't wait for the next issue. So that was it. Those are all the issues for this week. So let me know in the comments if you read any of these books, or if you are reading any of these series. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, just leave a like on the video, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would really appreciate it. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm halfway there, so subscribe. And yeah, so again, that was it for this week. I will be back for on Tuesday for my next episode of Trade Talk Tuesdays. Again, I'm going to be going over Absolute Superman Volume 2, so be on the lookout for that. And then on Wednesday, I'll be back for my haul video. But yeah, again, thank you. And my name is Chris Gonzalez. This is Chris Chats Comics, and I'm out. Peace.